Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. You guys hear me okay? Do you guys hear it better now? Sound works? That's great, guys. Let me just pop out this chat here. I'm just gonna pop it out. Boom. Just like that. So I can see what you guys are asking for. Hope everyone is having a beautiful weekend. We're gonna be taking a look at all of your coins. We're gonna take a look at all the majors, XRP, Bitcoin, ETH. XRP is looking pretty good. I'm gonna tell you guys why. Now, XRP, let's take a look here at where I put this chart. Let me just see. Oh yeah, I put it right here. So XRP is just coming down for the backup phase. It looks like it's already completed. Now, all we would want to see here on XRP going forward is just a move above these two levels right here. You see the 344 to 350 region? That's the level we want to see XRP get over in order to confirm that this correction is over. Now, in Wyckoff reaccumulation, it's very unlikely that price dips too much below the top of the range. I mean, considering it's crypto, you get these crazy wicks. We already got to move back into the range here, tap the 38.2% fib, but now the bias would be shifting towards continuation. Okay? And let me just pop up this chat here. Let me see here. Trying to just, I don't know, this chat is not working here. I don't know why. But, okay, yeah, this is XRP. We'll take a look at ADA as well. ADA looks pretty good. So now, you know ADA, why I like this coin so much is because look at what it's doing here on the linear scale. Okay? It's doing the Livermore speculative chart. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Okay. Right over here on ADA. And you know what coin is also doing this? Doge is also doing this. So I'll show you guys Doge. See, Doge is doing it, but it's doing it on the logarithmic scale. Do you guys see? This is Doge. So I think Doge would see a move to around $1.15 to $1.83. This is your sweet spot right here on Doge. These two levels. One sec, guys. Let me just pop up this chat. It's acting crazy. Okay. But yeah, this is what I'd be expecting on XRP. Very, very simple. You know, we were saying that this is Wyckoff reaccumulation all the way back over here. We would see the jump across the creek, and then once we get to the top of the range, we would see the back test. We've successfully got that back test. Now all we would want to see is just to move above these two levels, and then we can confirm that the low is in. Let's take a look at Dent over here. Dent is on a really nice run, and I can show you guys that we just back tested this trendline resistance as support over here. You guys see that? It's pretty bullish. And we would be taking a look at these three levels, okay? Looking at about a 7.4x, 14x, and a 28x from the current price, okay? A little bit lower now considering the prices went up since my last analysis on this, but I covered it in the last stream how this chart looks exactly like XRP right over here. You see? It's the same thing. You had a wedge, and then you had accumulation at the apex right over here. This was your accumulation at the apex on XRP. So it looks pretty good. So Luke is saying do PulseChain. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at PulseChain. Very bullish on the ecosystem. Let's take a look here. Okay, so this is PulseChain. It is breaking out. We'll take a look at it on Dex Screener. I have all my charts here on PulseChain. So this is incentive. Okay. This was our manipulation below this established range. So a nice power of 3 setup. I'll show you guys here. This is your accumulation. You have your manipulation to the downside. And then you have distribution. So we still need to go in for this phase in Dent's market cycle, which would likely take you to around 26 bucks. The reason we're saying 26 is because that's the 78.6% fib. Okay? And for PLS, let's take a look here. I think I made it on this chart over here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. If we invert the scale on PulseX, take a look at this on the daily time frame, we can see that this is pure Wyckoff. And as long as we stay above these two levels over here, as long as we stay above these two levels, then we should go up for the markup phase. Okay. Take out this internal range liquidity at 301. And then from current price to the top of the range, we're looking at a nice 4.3x, but it's likely gonna go way higher than that, right? It's gonna go way higher than the top of this range. And you know, the reason we're inverting the chart is so we can get a little bit of a better perspective on what the coin is gonna do. And this is exactly the same. You see how it's just slowly rounding off like this? Okay. And then this is incentive tokens wave count over here. Look at this. We'll take a look at it on the logarithmic scale. Do you guys see that? Looks like we're in our wave 3 to the upside. This was your A wave. This was your first move in the market. Then you had your pause, your WXY correction, a 3-wave move within each of the waves. And then this is your wave, impulsive wave to the upside for your C wave. PLS, same thing as PulseX, just a little bit more bullish when it comes to percentages. So let's take a look here. Invert the scale, and we can see that a move to the top of the range here on PLS would be about an 8.5x. You see, it's the same thing. It's just distribution schematic number 1 when you invert the chart. Okay? Very, very bullish on this ecosystem. I do think that it has bottomed as long as it stays above this level right here. Okay? Let's take a look here. So I covered PulseX, PLS, incentive token. We still need to cover PHEX, so we'll take a look at that right here. And yeah, we have a bullish dragon pattern. I believe we called this out in the last live stream right here. So I think it's going to come to around 0.013. So from current price, about a 57% gain, and then eventually make its way to the supply zone up here, see a little bit of a decline, but then eventually break out above the range. Okay. Now look what happened every time the price came up here, right? We saw a rejection, but there's only so much the price can do that, right? Once it gets up there again, we're likely going to see a decline, but it's going to be considered a partial decline before you have expansion. That's what I'm thinking on PHEX. Wyckoff Ape is asking for HBAR. Yeah, we can take a look at HBAR. Arthur is asking for Velo. Sure. All right, let's take a look. So this is Velo over here. I actually did some analysis here on Velo. Take a look at the 2-week chart on Velo. Right? It's nice. Nice divergence here. This is your hidden bullish divergence here. So you see how on the monthly time frame we have a higher low here, but then on the 3-day RSI we have a lower low. That's your hidden bullish divergence, and all we were doing was an ABC. right back down to this trendline support. Okay? And if you take a look at this on the logarithmic scale, we can see that it's just within a wedge like this. So I still expect a move up to the top of this diagonal to around the 50% fib, right over here. Okay, something like this. And this was your ABC down. This is your A, B, and then your C, just like that. Okay? This is your wave 1, your 2, 3, 4, and then we come up for a 5. Looks pretty good. So Chris is asking for Coti and IOTA. Those two coins are super bullish. I believe we covered Coti in the last live stream, and you know why I'm so bullish on Coti is because look at what it's doing over here. It's the same thing as what XLM did before taking off. Let's take a look. Right here, you see this head and shoulders pattern at the bottom? Right, you have your ABC up, A, B, C, your A, B, C, and then you have your A, B, C down, your A, B, C down. You chop at the lows, and that's what we're doing right now. We're just chopping at the lows, and we're likely going to see expansion above these highs, similar to what XLM did. You see how it broke out over here? Just like that. That's what I'm expecting on Coti, is to break above this level. Just like that. IOTA. IOTA looks pretty good as well. This is IOTA. I think it's currently within its third wave to the upside. And you can see here on IOTA, we were in a correction for over 2,400 days, almost 2,500. Then we started our impulsive leg up, our first wave to the upside back in November of 2024. Right? Then we came down for an ABC correction right down to the 78.6% fib. And now we're starting our wave 3. Okay? Likely see some resistance around 51 to 92 cent. But the main take profit would be here at $1.42 to $2.40. And then, of course, we would be taking a look at targets above the last all-time high from 379 to 480 and 980 to 1085. So Maurice is saying BCH just broke out of a 7-year triangle. Let's check it out. Let's check it out over here. BCH. Yeah, it did break out, or it is breaking out here. Let's check the 200-day moving average. Okay, it's above all of the EMAs here. It's also above the 200-day, so that's very important. And now what I'm thinking here on BCH is that this over here is your WXY correction. Or you can consider it like a 3-3-5 for your flat pattern, right? This is your A, B, C correction right there. Okay. Okay, we'd be targeting this level right here. Okay, 2204 to 3422. Looks pretty bullish. Looks really good. I think I made a chart here on BCH. Let me check it out. Yeah, right here. This is what I'm expecting on BCH. Move up to this level. Kyle is saying, why aren't we talking about coins that are in XRP? That's funny. We can take a look at XRP. We took a look at it at the beginning of the video, or the live stream. But XRP is very simple. I'll show you guys here. XRP just simply came down for the back test in Wyckoff reaccumulation. Okay, we were calling this out in the last live stream. We were saying that we were getting a little bit euphoric here, so it wouldn't surprise us that we'd see a move back down for your BU phase. So this is this move over here, you see? After you come to the top of the range, you come back down for a little bit of a breather before having real continuation and expansion. And that's exactly what we're doing. We came down to the 38.2% fib. All we would want to see here going forward is just a move, like I said, above these two levels. In order to confirm that the bottom is in, and then this over here would be your A, B, C correction. It could definitely be more complex than this. I mean, it could be this could be your A, you come up for a B to the 786, and then you come down for a C wave like that. But that would also coincide with a correction with the rest of the market. But I don't know, my bias would be that this looks completed over here. But in order to get confirmation of that, just want to see a move above these two levels here. And then we're good to go. Thank you so much for the super chat, Maurice. Yeah, so TP should be 2K for BCH. Let's check it out here. I'll show you here. Alts, BCH. Yeah, so right over here. $14.43, $18.94, and then $21.72. This is where you'd want to look to ladder out. Okay. This yellow box here on BCH. We can also take a look at this chart here. These are the more aggressive targets here. This is more aggressive because we're taking a look at the fibs on the linear scale, right? So it could definitely go up, it could definitely go this high, but I would say the more conservative targets would be something like this on BCH. Yeah, so 2K wouldn't be a bad idea to take profit there, but you'd want to look to ladder out. You'd want to look to ladder out here, because there's a possibility it goes above this level here, and we don't come back down from this region, right? It can still break out above this high right here, like have a full breakout. So Cholera is asking for cake. Really bullish on cake, guys. Let's take a look here. It's above all of the 3-day EMAs. Let me just see where I put this. Okay, yeah, here is cake. Okay. This is what I'm expecting here on cake. Let me just remove all of these drawings just so it's a little bit easier for you guys to comprehend. Yeah, cake is going in for wave 3. We're likely going to have expansion above the range highs to around $7. See a little bit of a decline from there, but then eventually go towards 10, 11, 12, maybe even a wick to 15. I think we may top out here at around 10 to 11, and the market maker is just going to mess with holders here, right? They're just going to form a range. So that's why I always say ladder out. Never sell it all in one shot. You never want to do that, because that's not what the market maker is doing. Remember, if the market maker sells all their tokens in one shot, the price does this, and it moves against them, right? They don't want to do that. They want to slowly ladder out to avoid suspicion, and so they can fully distribute their bags. It may even go up to 20. There is a possibility of that, but I want you guys to take the majority of your profits at around 10 to 15 bucks. Okay, and leave some tokens aside just in case it hits this 786 here. Okay, it could do something like that for sure, and then come down to the top of the range here for your backup phase. Now, we're assuming this is an ABC correction to the upside, but it could definitely be more impulsive than we think. This could be a wave 1, a wave 2. You have your third wave, fourth, and then a fifth up here. Right, a fifth up here. Something like that, right? But always be safe. Take profit all the way up. All right, let's take a look at HBAR here. HBAR looks pretty good. It's following the wave count perfectly. We should be headed to around 45 cents from here. The reason I'm saying 45 cents is because that's the macro 78.6% fib when you take a fib from this high down to this low. Okay, I'll show you guys here. Yeah, so we'd be expecting a move up here, maybe come down for a wave 4, and then finally go in for expansion above the highs. Okay, of this macro ascending channel. So we'd be looking at around 89 to 98 cents around here for your first take profit, and then it would start to get really dangerous holding the token once we reach around $1.42, like $1.28 to $1.42, and then you'd want to look to exit here. That's what I'm thinking on HBAR. Looks pretty good. All coins are looking really good this morning. And that's another reason why I think XRP may have bottomed out here. You know, we're getting a lot of confluence. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I think it's bottomed out here, XRP. And if XRP did come lower, I don't think it goes down below 2.759 at the 50% fib. I think going below this level would be a little bit too deep. Right? So Shiva, thank you so much for the super chat, bro. You're asking about CHZ. You're seeing bullish divergence on the RSI. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at CHZ here. And your TA Shiva is, it's definitely not wrong. We do have bullish divergence. Let's check it out here. We have bullish divergence on all time frames here, from the daily all the way up to the weekly time frame here. Okay. And you know what I like CHZ is because it's just been adhering to the support and resistance of this descending channel. Okay, look at this massive bull flag here. And I like how it's not coming down to this region. It's just kind of sloping off over here. Okay, there's your bullish divergence. Okay, I'd be expecting a move right up to the 786 here on CHZ. Remember, this was the first part in the market cycle of CHZ, right? And that was this uptrend. Then we've been in a corrective phase for over 1,580 days of correcting. So I think we should see a move up here. Nice 18x. But if you want to get more conservative, then we can take a look here at the 50%. 10x. Looking at 13x. And then up to the 786, 17, 18x. Okay. It may even go past the last all-time high. It could definitely do that, considering how long we've been consolidating for sure. Check it out here. Let's check out the stock RSI on CHZ on the 2-week time frame. And look at the stock RSI on the 2-week. It's right at the lows turning up. And I noticed that for many alts. Like if you take a look at the 2-week stock, they're all turning up. So yeah, I think we're going to have this run up. And interest rates, they may get cut next month in August. So that would definitely add some more fuel to the rise. Let's take a look at Mover. Mover is a nice one as well. So this is Mover over here. If these lows can hold right here, then we would be expecting a C wave to occur on Mover. So from the all-time high, we had a 5-wave move down. We've had our A wave with an extension of the 5th wave, but we still need to have our C wave. So we had the first leg in the correction, right? This is your A wave. Then you come down for an ABC correction. And now we still need to have this C wave. You'd want to look to take profit here at the 618 up to the 786. So take some profit here and then take the rest over here. And look where you'd be coming up to. You'd not only be coming up to the 2.618 and 4.236 extension, but you'd be coming up to the 70.2% fib and the 786 when you measure the move right from the all-time high down to the all-time low here. Okay, and if we take a look here at the RSI, we can see we have bullish divergence here. This is the 3-day RSI. Okay, higher low, even though we have a lower low on the price. Okay, so it's just consolidating here. It's just chopping around. Let's not rule out this chop before we have that push up. And even on the monthly stock RSI, look at how low it is. Right? Look what happened over here when the monthly stock RSI was at the lows. And this blue line flipped the orange line. Do you guys see? We had a nice 10x. So we could be seeing that here on Mover. There's a big possibility of that. And so Martin is asking for Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin dominance. So considering we swept this low, you may see a little bit of a push up here, but then I would be expecting a further downside move. This looks like an ABC up right over here. A, B, and C. Then we take out these highs. Check it out here. Okay, it came right up to the 1.786 extension, this C wave. So let's see. Let's see how this plays out. We're below all of the hourly EMAs, so we could see a further push down here. Wouldn't surprise me. And you know, when Bitcoin dominance goes down, look how much price action it takes back. So over here, we went up by about 9% in the span of 116 days. Okay, it took back all of that upwards price action in less than a month. Okay, so when Bitcoin dominance moves, when we're in true alt season, which I think we are, it's going to be very quick. It's going to be very, very quick. And look where we rejected off of. Take a look at this. If you use the Heikin-Ashi chart, or you can even use the regular candlesticks, but take a fib right from this high down to this low. See how it taps the 786 and we reject perfectly off of it? So yeah, I think we come down to right over here. Right here at this weekly inversion fair value gap. Okay? Right to over here. This is your weekly IFVG. Just like there. Oh yeah, and a lot of people are asking for Dogecoin. So we took a look at Dogecoin, but we can take another quick look at it. And like I said, guys, Dogecoin is doing the Livermore speculative chart. And we double tap the 200-week EMA here. Let me just remove these drawings so you guys don't get confused. Okay. You have 7 touches, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then once you hit your 7th touch, that's when you go on the parabolic rise. And we've done just that on Doge. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is your 7. And then if you take a look here, you see how we double tap the 200 week or the 200 week EMA, and then we have a break of structure right here. This was your change of character, your break of structure, your throwback to the 78.6% fib. See how we came down to the 786 here? Right here. And now we've made another high above the May swing high right here. So the tape is bullish, right? We have bullish order flow here. And it's bounced off the 200 week so many times. It bounced off of it over here. Over here it formed a triple bottom. Nice double bottom over here, right? We've done that so many times. Even over here back in the 2020 run. You see how we back tested it 2 times and made a higher low off of it here, and then you make a higher low off of it, and then the run starts. And you see some rejection here initially, but it's just a partial decline before further continuation up. Okay, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. See? Just a partial decline, just a doji on the weekly. If we do come down lower, it will likely just be very short-lived before we see higher. But yeah, Doge looks good. Really bullish on Doge. So John is saying, just put on a long on KSM. Alright, let's check out KSM here. I remember this coin in the last bull market. I think this coin's going to do well. Okay, because if you look here, this has been going sideways for a while now. And this could be considered your deviation right over here. Let's see. This is the daily time frame. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have your ABC down like this. A, B, C. And then over here, you're back testing the range as support. So if KSM can get above 1730.33, then we should go ahead and take out the highs here at 18. So we need to get over this level here on KSM on the small time frame to see a move above this $18 level and then head towards 19.95. But yeah, we could be starting the impulsive move up on KSM. There is a possibility of that. We also got some bullish divergence here on the 3-day. See? Lower lows, consecutive lower lows, but consecutive higher lows. On the RSI. Right here. Now for the expansion targets on KSM, we'd be taking a look here at 231, 95, 147, 199, and 231. And notice how the 618 perfectly, not perfectly, but it's in that same region. Right? So you have more confluence of a pullback around these three regions here. So yeah, I think it can reach up here. Wouldn't surprise me for sure. Okay, let's take a look at. So Arthur is asking for Bone Dia. Yeah, we can take a look at that coin. Bone Dia. What's the ticker on that? I don't know. ZBCN looks pretty nice too. Let's take a look here at ZBCN. Yeah, ZBCN is going up for the 5th wave here. And what I'm thinking on ZBCN is that it just funnels like this. So this over here is your funnel, and it just goes into ascending accumulation, right? So this over here is your wave 1, like that, and then the price just does this. Right, and this is your wave 2. That's what I'm thinking there for ZBCN. Then we come up here, here, and then once it gets up here, you'd want to look for triple negative divergence on the RSI. So take out your RSI like this. Take a look at it on the 3-day. Okay, so you'd want to look for something like this here. And then that would be your sell signal. It may come down like this, oscillate a bit, and then you'd want to look to offload here. I actually gave my members ZBCN all the way down here. We took major profits over here and over here. And now I'm calling for another move to the upside for wave 5. Okay. So Arthur wants me to take a look at DIA, so we'll take a look at it. I got the ticker and looks pretty good. We've come up to this resistance 3 times now. You see how many times we reject off of it? Every single time we come up to it, we see a rejection. Every single time. Now we've come up to it again. So you may see a little bit of a decline, but I think we should continue the grind up to right here. This is our major supply zone. Major supply zone. Okay. It's around 562 to 426. And I like how it's making higher lows like this as well. So that looks pretty bullish. And this would be your A, your B, and your C. Okay. What's up, Dubai Fitness? You want me to take a look at ALGO with conservative bull run targets? Sure. Let's take a look. So this is ALGO. It's following along very well. We had our wave 1 to the upside from August 2023 to March of 2024. And over here we had a running flat. So with a running flat, the corrections look like this. Your A wave, you have your B wave, and then your C wave terminates like this. It fails to go below the bottom of your A wave. And then you have the rise. So that's what we see over here. So conservative bull run targets, we would be eyeing around 138 to 148, and then up to $2.30. The reason we're eyeing those targets is, number one, because this is a major supply zone. You see how many times we rejected off of it? We've come down from it over here, came down from it over here, over here. So coming up into this region, you should look to take profit, not financial advice. And that would also be the 50% up to the 786. So around the 145 to $2.30 level. And save some tokens aside just in case we go ahead and make a new all-time high. And I'm projecting the all-time high. I mean, we'll get more accurate targets as the price develops, and we will be outlining them in the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, guys, click the link in the description below so you can stay up to date with all of your favorite coins. But we may see a partial decline here after reaching into this supply zone. Okay, this is our supply. And then we go on, and then we go and make a new all-time high around 462 to $5.09. And then what we can also do is take a fib from the last swing high. This was back in December, down to this low. And look where the 2.786 is, 3.618 and 4.236 extension is. Perfectly lines up with these fibs right here, right? So taking profit here, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but definitely save some tokens aside just in case we get that push above supply. This is what it would look like on the linear scale. Okay. And it's just pure Wyckoff accumulation. This was your spring. Right. This is your low. You see how we swept it here in 2023? So that's your spring. Then you come down to test the lows of the range. So this is your spring, this is your test, and then this is your last point of support. So you have 3 higher lows here after your spring. Okay, I'll show you guys here. Spring, taking out the psychological low, your test, and then your last point of support. So 3 higher lows before the markup phase begins. And that's exactly what we're seeing on ALGO. Okay. Good morning, Mina. So glad to have you in the live. We can definitely take a look at the Dent versus Bitcoin chart. You know, I actually saw something really interesting on that chart the other day. Let's take a look. Dent USD. Let's do that. Okay, versus BTC USD. Okay, boom, and look what we see over here. Do you see how we swept this low over here? This was the run up in 2020 to 2021. Right over here, and it outperformed Bitcoin by 50x. Okay, look what we did in 2025. Look what we did. This is the low, which was before the run up, before Dent outperformed Bitcoin by 50x. And look what we did in 2025. We actually swept that low. We swept the low, and on this 3-day candle, we back tested it as support right here. Okay, so we not only have that sweep of such an important low, but we also have this falling wedge pattern. You see this falling wedge structure? So I think we're going to go on a really nice run for Dent, because the Dent Bitcoin pair looks to have bottomed. And let's take a look here at the RSI, just so we can get further confluence. And look what we have over here on the 3-day time frame. Higher lows, bullish divergence. Let's check it out on the weekly. We have Class C bullish divergence. Let's take a look here at the stock RSI on the 2-week, monthly. Yeah, monthly stock RSI is at the lows here. Check out the MACD. Okay. Bullish divergence on the MACD, turning up under the 0 line. Weekly also looks nice. And you know why this is so important? That we swept the low like this? Because look at, I called the exact bottom on cake. You want to know how I called the bottom on cake? Right down over here. Right when it swept this low. Like this. Because the cake versus Bitcoin pair, look what it did. It took out this low back in 2020 and 2021. You see? It took it out right there. And that's the bottom. And this was the low that was created before Cake outperformed Bitcoin by 60x. Okay? That was our spring on the Cake versus Bitcoin pair. This is your wave 1. This is your wave 2. And look what token is doing that right now. It's the Dent versus Bitcoin pair. So thank you so much, Mina, for bringing that up. Great question. So Celerity Dreamer is asking for ALGO. I just took a look at ALGO, bro. Just go back in the live, you'll see it. Like, go back maybe 5-7 minutes. Jeremy is asking for Link. Yeah, let's take a look at Link. I haven't checked out Link in a while, but the last time I saw it, the last time I eyed the chart, it was bullish. Let's check it out here, guys. Or sorry, this is Litecoin, my bad. Let's take a look here at Link. So Link, it is a flat pattern. This is your A, B, and then your C wave, like this. And now we're going in for a continuation. This looks like it was your wave 1 to the upside. This is your wave 2. Now we're going in for wave 3, 4, and 5. And we're likely going to take out this last all-time high right here. Okay. something like this for Link. Okay. Something like that. Boom. There you go. Let's just remove all of these fibs here, just to make it look a little bit cleaner. Okay, so something like this for Link. That's what I'm expecting for Link. And this was our 5-wave move up for wave 1. Okay. See, very simple. And now when Link gets up here, you'd want to look for bearish divergence. You'd want to look for bearish divergence on the RSI. Okay, so when it gets up here, that's when you'd want to look to be cautious. When it gets up here and makes a lower high. Okay? Although we have a higher high, although we're going to have a higher high on the price, we're likely going to have a lower high on the 3-day RSI. Okay, and then this is your ABC down. A, B, C. Okay? Just like that. So Martin is saying inverted head and shoulders on Dent on the 4-hour. Let's check it out. Yeah. It could be forming a right shoulder here, right? This is your left shoulder, right? Your head. And then we could come down for a right shoulder and then continue on higher. Now, usually my invalidation level to the upside and to the downside is always the 786, okay? If you get above the 786, then it's very likely we take out the highs and we go above it. And we've done that over here this morning. So I'm thinking if we do come down, it will likely just be consolidation before a continued rise to the upside. Let's check it out here. Okay, so if it comes down like this, wouldn't surprise me. And you know these patterns in crypto, these rising wedges like this, whenever you get a pattern like this you have a lot of people, when it breaks, a lot of people shorting over here, 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 all the way down, right? But what is price? The market maker is smarter than that, right? So the price drives up, right back up to these highs to take out all of these short stops. And now that we've actually wicked above this high, the bias would remain on the long side. So if we did come down, it would likely be short-lived before continuation higher. Oh, the left shoulder. Oh yeah, right here. Left shoulder, boom, head, and then yeah, your right shoulder. There you go. Yeah, I see it. I see it for sure. And then this was the back test, like that. Like around here. Let's take a look at XRP again here on the daily. It's turning up on the daily, guys. Looks pretty good. BTC. So now in the last live stream I did on BTC, we were just eyeing the wave count, right? And we were saying that we may come down for a wave 4 like this before we come up for a wave 5 up here. Wave 5 of 3. Okay, before we start getting really overheated. Then you come down for a wave 4. And then we finally go up for that wave 5. Okay, so I can break down this wave count for you guys. And you can see that on BTC, this was clearly your wave 1, right? Then you had 150 days of Wyckoff reaccumulation for your wave 2. Then you had your explosive wave 3 to the upside. Then you had 6 months of a correction for your wave 4. And now we're going into what's called a wave 5 of 5 extension. So I believe this was the start of our wave 5 back in August. And you had your wave 1 being put in over here, your wave 2, your third wave. Then we came down with the S&P 500 for your wave 4. And now we're working on that wave 5 of 5 extension right here. I think we should come to around 132 to 138,000, but eventually reach towards 160,000, right around here. We've already hit the technical target of this cup and handle pattern at around 120K. But just a reminder, this is a minimum technical target. I think it will overshoot this. Okay, this is what a wave 5 of 5 extension looks like. Okay. See over here, fifth wave extension of fifth wave extension, like this. See how extended this wave 5 is? That's usually what you see in highly over-leveraged markets or in blow-off top scenarios. Okay, let's see what Martin is saying. 29th of May to the 5th of June. January, March, April, May. Okay, yeah, that's the left shoulder. Having trouble reading that, but yeah, Dent is bullish, guys. Really bullish on Dent. What other coins should we take a look at, guys? Let's take a look here at let's take a look at FET. Nice AI token. I think I already made a FET chart over here. Let me just check it out. Okay, I didn't. But yeah. Okay, this is your wave 1 on FET, your wave 2, your third wave, fourth, and we're likely coming up for a fifth wave here. We've just, and of that fifth wave, it looks like this is your wave 1. You see how we have a clear 5-wave move here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is your wave 2. So we are definitely trending up on FET. We're above the, or we're just below the 200-day moving average, but we're above all of the, let's check here. Okay. You see how it's just subdividing into threes? That's because this is a leading diagonal. With leading diagonals, the waves overlap each other, but they're very profitable if you get in at the right time. So I'm expecting a nice rise here. It's around 6 to 956, around here, on FET, around here. This is your sweet spot right here on artificial intelligence. These are your fib supports. Came down to the 618. It's looking pretty good. Good morning, Frank. Glad to have you in the live stream. Yeah, we'll take a look at Flare. I believe we take a look at Flare in every live stream, so we can't miss it. Let's check it out. Flare. Okay, and what do we see here on Flare? on the logarithmic scale. So Frank is asking if Flare gets over 0.025, will the correction be over? Or will we go back to 2 cents for the C leg? So taking a look at Flare here on the daily time frame, it looks like it's filling in this wick that was created on July 23rd. And yeah, if it does get above 0.025, which is the 618, using the trend base fib, then yeah, it is very likely that this small correction is over and we're going to be headed higher, above 0.027. I think we're in the parabolic phase on Flare, and our invalidation level would be at 0.016. So I think Flare's next target would be right up here at this supply zone, at around 0.049 to 0.059. I think Flare is going to reach right up here next. Come down for a wave 4 or a partial decline before finally going in towards our take profit levels. 12 to 13 cent, 18 to 19 cent, and then 26 to 30 cent. Tapping into this mitigation block that was created on November of 2022. Okay, so we're currently within wave 3 on Flare. It's the most parabolic wave in the Elliott wave theory. Sometimes the most parabolic wave is the 5th wave. You get that a lot in crypto, because there's a lot of hype and FOMO that gets produced here. So yeah, looks pretty good. The fact that Flare is above this high over here that was created on May 9th, that's very telling as it is, right? So I think we should see continuation higher to this supply zone at 0.05 to 0.059. Yeah, that's what I see on Flare. Looks really good. Crypto Adoption is asking for Brett. And then Olivia is asking for XLM. So yeah, we'll take a look at those coins. Let's check out Brett. And what we see is that we are within a wave 3 to the upside. Brett. Just trying to get the chart with the most history here. So this is what I see on Brett. This was your A, your B, and then your C wave. You had a 3-wave move down for your A wave, a 3-wave move up for your B wave, and then a 5-wave move to the downside for your C wave. So this is a classic 335 Elliott wave flat pattern. And then this over here is your range low. And you see how we just came back down to test it? Right over here. And this was the launch pad back in May, before we did over 4 to 6x, 5 to 6x here. So you see how we just came down to tap it right here? This is your 5-wave move, and then this is your A, B, C. So on bread, I'd be expecting a move right up to this supply zone. That's the next major target on bread. Okay, and that would likely be within our third wave to the upside. This is your wave 1, your wave 2. You have your third wave, fourth, and then a fifth. This is just an estimated trajectory. We're definitely going to have to alter these waves as the price develops in the Patreon and Discord. If you guys haven't joined, definitely do so. You can get all of your coins taken a look at. I make video breakdowns on all of your coin requests. So if that's something that interests you, then definitely check that out. But yeah, this is what I'd be expecting, a move up to this supply zone. You see how we rejected off of it here? Major top came in, major top. So move up to this level. Think about how many trapped holders there are over here and over here, right? Or how many sell stops are located at these highs. So coming up to this level, it wouldn't be something out of the ordinary. And we are above all of the daily EMAs. We just need to get over this 200-day EMA right here. I'm thinking this is your ABC, your ABC, or your WXY. ABC. This is your 1, your 2, your third wave, come down for a fourth, and then we go up for a fifth. And that would be your wave 1 of 3. Okay? So, Dubai Fitness is saying, do you think do you think 9 to 12 is the realistic max for cake? So, I would say $10 to $12 would be the conservative target, realistic target for cake. We've had that target for a while now. The reason for that is because when you take a look here at the cake market cap chart, let's take a look. Cake market cap, we can see that the 786 is sitting at around 3.6 billion. So if it came up here, that would be around 10 to 12 bucks. So that would be, yeah, that would be realistic, 10 to 12 bucks on cake. And then if you take a look at cake on the regular chart here, take a fib from this high down to the low. The 2.618 is right there at 11, 12 bucks. And then you may see a wick up to this level. Okay? Then if you take a fib from the all-time high down to the low, look where the 23.6% fib is. Right there at 11. 38.2% fib is at 17. Just in between this 3.618 and 4.236 extension. So most of your profits should be taken around 10 to 12 bucks or 10 to 11 on cake, and not financial advice, and save some tokens aside just in case we come up to this level. Okay, if we take a look at this on the logarithmic scale, we can see that the 618 is at 1050 and the 702 is around 14. So there's so much confluence of us finding a lot of resistance in this sweet spot over here on cake, right here, this yellow box. So just be very careful when prices reaches up to that level. And I do think it's going to reach up there. This is what the chart shows us, that we're entering into wave 3. Okay. So David is asking for spell token. And just by eyeing this chart, I can see that price is likely to come back up to this supply zone. See how many times we rejected off of it? Once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5. Very clear supply and demand zone. Right here. Looks like Wyckoff accumulation as well. Right, this is your selling climax, your automatic rally, your secondary test, your failed breakout, your secondary test in phase B, your failed breakout number 2, and then you have your creek down, or your ABC down to the lows of the range, and then you have your markup phase. So what we can do on spell is just take a fib right from the peak down to the trough. We'd be taking a look at these targets here. So it's likely spell will come right up here to the 786 and 886 retracement, right up here. See a little bit of a partial decline and then finally get that push above this range that we've been in for over 1,000 days. So this is clear Wyckoff accumulation, because if this was a shitcoin, it wouldn't be going sideways like this for over 1,000 days, right? There's a concerted effort to accumulate this coin to keep the price above this low. Okay, and we have price-based capitulation, and we also have time-based capitulation. We went down by over 98%, almost 99%. And then we went sideways for over 1,000 days. That's the recipe for a markup. Okay? Yeah, so right here. This is where I think spell is going to go. Right there. You see how that you see how the 3.618 and 4.236 perfectly lines up with the 618? You can also take some partials over here, right? But I think it's going to come up here. That's your sweet spot on spell. Let's check this out here. It's very similar. I think this may be schematic number 2 though, because we failed to make a new low below this level. So it may be doing schematic number 2. I'll show you. Maybe something like this, but this LPS was a little bit lower. Okay, let's take a look here at IOTA and XLR. This is IOTA. Nothing much has changed. Still think we're in wave 3 to the upside. Okay, this is IOTA. I think it's going to do very, very well. This was your correction. Your ABC down for your A, your ABC up for your B in the 2020 run up, and then you have your 5-wave move to the downside for your C wave. 1, 2, 3, ABC up for your 4, and then you slam down for your 5th wave, right into the 786 and 886 retracement when you measure the move from this low up to this high. Then all we were doing in November was have the first macro wave to the upside. Then then from December you had your A, B, C correction. Now we're starting our 3rd wave to the upside here, likely taking us to around 92 to $1, 92 cents to $1, and then up to around $1.48 to 236, and then higher. Okay. XLM looks pretty good too. Let's check out XLM. Remove these drawings here, guys. Yeah, so XLM is going to break out. This was your massive wave 4, right? Your A, B, C, D, and then you have your E wave. Notice how the waves are subdividing into 3 every single time. That shows you, even back in December, this was your A, your B, and then your C. So the correction still wasn't over yet. And then we finished the macro correction back in April, because this was your E wave down to the 50% fib. So it's following along perfectly, XLM, with the wave count. Came down to the 618 here. I think XLM, the next move should be a move above 61 cents, and we'd be going in for the macro breakout. Okay, this is what I'd be expecting on XLM. $1.49 to $1.64, 239 to 254, and 329 to 385. Okay, very bullish on XLM. This is your macro wave count over here. Wave 1, 2, 3, and then over 2,700 days of accumulation for your wave 4. Cape Town Rocks is saying, who's here for an orgasmic bull run? Yeah, man, let's get it. We're finally here. Let's keep our eyes on Bitcoin dominance. Let's check it out. It's looking pretty good. I want to see this daily get down here at 60.42%, so we can confirm that this was your ABC to the upside. ABC. Okay. Guys, you know which coin I have my eyes on? ENA. I have my eyes on this coin. Let's check it out. Just trying to find out which chart I put it on here. ENA's gonna come up here. No doubt. This was our manipulation. It's an easy 2x. Very easy. And I not only think it's going to come up here and do 150%, but I think it's actually going to make a new all-time high, because this is your running flat pattern, A, B, C, and then you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. Okay, this is your A wave, your B wave, and your C wave. Super bullish. And we're above this supply zone as well. You see this supply zone? We've actually had a support and resistance flip. Used it as resistance here so many times, and now we were using it as support here. Okay, so a push up to this major supply zone is what I'd be expecting next. And then for the targets, we'd be taking a look at $2, $3.10, $4.20, and $4.88. This coin kind of reminds me of Arrow, you know. Take a look. Let's take a look here at Arrow. Same kind of structure, right? 3 down in your A, 3 up in your B, and then a 5 down in your C. The only difference with Arrow is that this is an expanded flat. Okay. See, with a regular flat, you just come down to the lows. You may even sweep it a bit. With a expanded flat, you take out the A wave. With a running flat, you fail to break down below the A wave. So that's the only difference, but they're the same type of correction. And then over here on Arrow, look what we're doing. We're funneling upwards. So this is what Arrow's likely going to do. It's just going to funnel like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then it's going to do that. And then come up to the supply zone. That's what I'm thinking on Arrow. I've seen it so many times in this market where it does this. And usually when it's oscillating in here, that's when so much doubt and FUD gets injected into the market. Right? Anytime it does this, you have the bears coming out in full force saying, I was right, it's going to break down. But it's actually what it is, it's ascending accumulation. Okay? You get these a lot in the market, and they can manifest in many different patterns. Let's take a look here. I'm just going to pull up this chat. Let's see what you guys are asking for. What's up, Matt Grimes? Glad to have you here. So Hedge Fund 40 is asking for Flare networks. We just took a look at Flare about, 15 minutes ago. Don't worry. After the live, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put tags in the comments so you guys can easily check the coin. Okay, Mina is asking for XLR. Let's take a look. AXL. Boom. Okay, yeah, AXL looks ready. This was your sweep of psychological support back in October 2023. You know what coin did this? ALGO did this. You see this sweep over here? And then we had this nice rise. That's exactly what XLR is doing. This was your spring. And this is your test. And then this is your last point of support. So this coin is going to be big. I can already tell. Last point of support. Okay. And then this is your A, B, C down. So I think it's going to do really nice, really well. We'd be expecting a move up to this 786 and 702 retracement right up here. Okay. I don't think it's going to go back below 0.278. I don't think it's going to do it. I think this is the low right here. And you know what? This looks like a nice falling wedge as well. Okay, let's take a look here. So this is PAL. Looks pretty strong. This is your A wave, your B wave, and this could be your C right here. Three-day MACD turning up from the lows, and we also have bullish divergence on the MACD as well. Lower lows here, higher low on the MACD, and then if we enlarge this, we can see but you'd want to watch out, like if you're going to get into this coin right now, you'd want to watch out for this supply zone. So it's likely that PAL is going to come up right here to around 18-19 cent, right up to this supply. Maybe see a little bit of a rejection, and then finally make its way up like this. Okay. ACH, super bullish on ACH. So now, in the last explanation on ACH, I did say that there's a possibility we come down below this psychological support. Considering we've used it so many times, we used it over here, over here, over here, here, here. So we may have this dip below like this, which would start the run up on ACH. Now it doesn't have to do this. Doesn't have to do that. It could just continue rising, and we'd be looking for a move to around 0.049. And yeah, looks really bullish. I mean, we've been accumulating within this ascending triangle for about 878 days now. Almost 1,000 days of accumulation. These are the targets on ACH. All I did to find them is I just took a fib from the last major swing high back in 2021 down to the low in December 2022. Okay. And you can see that there's a concerted effort to accumulate this coin, because every single time we get up here, we see a rejection. So there's obviously a concerted effort to keep the price down, to keep the price from breaking out. And every time they drive the price down to this diagonal trend line, that's when they buy. So they're buying and then selling into strength, buying, selling into strength. They do this so they can accumulate they do this so they can accumulate most of the flow, right? This is classic market maker behavior. So next target over here would be at 0.05. Get above 0.05, which we likely will do, then we're looking at 11 to 14 cent. You want to look to take partial profits here, not financial advice. The reason I say that is because this is the 618, 702, and 786 retracement. We may see a partial decline from here, but I would still expect a further rise to then go ahead and take out this all-time high that was set in 2021. So from the current price, we'd be looking at a nice 5.7x, or sorry, let's see here. A nice 5.2x to the 1.618, it's about 11x, 2.618, it's about 18x, 19x. Really bullish on this coin. Get above the 200-day moving average at 0.024, then the party will start on ACH for sure. Just need to get above this 200-day moving average here. Then it's going to look really good. It's going to accelerate. And look at the 2-week stock RSI here on ACH, turning up from the lows. And every single time we've done that, we've had a nice run up over here, over here. Here, let me just remove this here. Here, here, right here, and again over here. So the 2-week time frame on ACH closes in 8 days and 8 hours. It's likely forming a doji, or it's likely going to form a doji, and then the next 2-week candle will likely do something like this. If this 2-week candle forms a doji, we'll be reaching for the January highs, or the January close and the high, and the highs of those candles. Okay? So really, really bullish ACH. Okay, let's take a look at Cava. I haven't done Cava yet. This looks very familiar, the structure here. So this is Cava versus incentive token. Just going back not too far ago, like this is your 1, 2, 3, like this, and this is your 1, 2, 3, and then you have consolidation, and now we're trying to break above this consolidation on incentive token. It wouldn't surprise me we do it on Cava as well. So the thing I like about Cava is that we have clear Wyckoff accumulation. This was our range that was created back in January of 2023. And then we went sideways for over 480 days. You can see that every time the price came up here, it rejected. Like almost too perfectly, right? Almost as if there was a concerted effort to keep the price from escaping this range. There was clearly a sell wall here by the composite operator or the market maker, because everyone is buying into this. And the market maker, what did he do? He drove the price all the way down below the range, and all of the people who bought in here were selling over here. And who were they selling to? They were selling to the market maker. the composite operator. Remember, this over here is your accumulation by retail traders. Once it breaks down below psychological support, this would be considered manipulation, where the market maker accumulates. And then you have the markup phase. So here you go. Accumulation, manipulation, and there is your distribution, like this. Okay. What I also like about Cava is that it's printing a falling wedge. Do you guys see here? Here's your falling wedge. Now, it's normal to think that it's going to come down and reach these this lower trend line support, but usually what happens is if you hug the upper trend line resistance like this, and you just consolidate like that, then you actually see a push up. Let me try to show you guys an example here. Let me try to find a good example. Right here. Let's just remove this here. You see, pretend none of this price action happened, okay? When price is down here, you would think that it's going to reach this low, right? But you see how it's hugging the upper trend line, and it actually breaks out instead. So that's what could be happening here on Cava. We saw something similar on Flare, I believe. Let's take a look. So over here, you see? You would think it comes down here, but you see how it just hugs and then it breaks up instead. So next target on Cava would be, next major target would be the 50% fib here at this supply zone. We're just above it. Okay, something like this. But we'd be looking right here as your major take profit level. Okay. And you know what interests me about Cava? I'm going to show you guys this. Take a look at the CoinTrader Pro chart, and let's pull up Cava. So this is a chart I made. I labeled this as the no panic zone. I think I made this chart about a year ago, and yeah, I see a move up to this level. This is where you'd want to look to take profit. This would also be your weekly fair value gap and breaker block right up here. Okay. But what I wanted to show you is that look what we did on Cava on the monthly. We swept the lows right over here. So the lows have already been swept. It could come down and do this, but I don't expect a new low below 0.253. Okay, that's Cava. Looks really bullish. So Tales from the Crypto Keeper is asking, did you take a look at XLM yet? Yeah, I took a look at XLM. Just rewind the live. Don't worry, I'll put timestamps on the live. So if you check back in 1 to 2 hours, you'll be able to see all of the timestamps in the comments. So don't worry. Mina is saying, charting so many coins, how do you prevent FOMOing in all of them? Yeah. There's so many coins. You just have to find one to 3 coins that give you the best vibes, honestly. That's the best way to do it. Okay, let's take a look here at DYDX. Let's check it out. Now, I'm bullish on this coin. Because I think this over here is our manipulation. And this is the monthly time frame. You see how many times we've interacted with this level? Saw a big push up in June of 2022, in December, exactly 1 year later. And 2 years later, you see another push up off that same level. So this is a huge psychological support over here on the high time frame. What do we have over here? We have manipulation under this psychological support. So what we would be expecting is distribution. You got your accumulation here. Manipulation, and then distribution. And for extra confluence, what we can do is take out your RSI and check to see if you have any bullish divergence, but we're going to take a look at it on the 2-week time frame, the RSI. And there you go. There's your bullish divergence. So it wouldn't surprise me that we see a really nice pop up on this coin, on this token. And it's still very low. It's still under the psychological support. So I would say in this region right here would be your best entry. Take partials over here. Take partials here. And then you can take the rest here. This could be, from an Elliott wave point of view, this could be your A wave. This is your B wave, and then you have your C wave like this. Okay? And then that could be all she wrote. And we go in for the bear market from here. Like that. And you see that would just come up to the 618 and 702 retracement on the logarithmic scale. So it makes sense to come up here. But yeah, Pretty bullish. So Dubai Fitness is asking for Fart Boy. I charted Fart Boy for my members, but let me see if... Let me see here, because I know there's a lot of Fart Boys, so I'm just making sure I get the right one. Let me check here. I think it's this one. Oh yeah, this is it right here. Fart Boy. Yeah, I see a move up to this supply zone here. 0.13 to 0.1889. Very risky coin, considering it is a meme coin, but it does have potential. Get above this supply zone, then we're looking at a move to 33 to 36 cent, maybe even a move to 52 cent. But if we do get up here, you'd want to look for bearish divergence playing out. So you just want to pull up your RSI and you want to look for something like this if price gets up here. Okay, so something like this is what I'd be expecting. But first, you'd want to look to take partials here at this supply zone. How long have I been streaming here? Let me just check. So yeah, looks pretty good. Yeah, this is what I see on Fart Boy. Take a look at CeeLo. Yeah, CeeLo's bullish. This was your manipulation below the psychological support. You see how many times we bounced off of this psychological support? And then in 2025, this was your manipulation below it. So like I showed you guys, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay. So maybe something like this. On CeeLo. This is a whiff, dog whiff hat. Pretty bullish. This is what I'm expecting. Let's check out Pengu. Pengu is on a tear. Let's check this out here. So it's come up to this supply zone, so normally I would be very cautious here. I am cautious on Pengu. So I don't know, you may come down for a wave 4. Or this is just a 3-wave move. Kind of hard to decipher, but it's bullish. So I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream today. It was a pleasure having you all in here, answering all of your coin requests. I hope to see you guys in the next live stream next Saturday. And if you like content like this and you want your coins taken a look at, you want targets for all of your coins, analysis, and video breakdowns, and top-down analysis on all of your assets, then definitely click the link in the description below to join the Patreon, where you not only get access to over 350 assets, but you can chat with me one-on-one and experience a community full of chartists and people who are passionate about the world of crypto. We also take a look at stocks, indices like Forex, pretty much any asset you guys can think of. It's in the Discord. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely click that link in the description below. I hope to see you guys all in the next live. It was a pleasure having you. Peace out and take it easy. I'll see you guys in the next one.